بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We talked about the things that scholars have their consensus on, that they nullify your fasting. And we said that there are 7 things: eating, drinking, sexual intercourse, and the emission of semen intentionally. We have menstruation, the post-birth bleeding, and we have the apostasy, and finally the intentional vomiting. Now, it is not the minute you do one of these things you immediately nullify and void your fasting. No, scholars say that you have to have 3 things altogether so that these things would nullify your fasting. The 3 things are: you should do it when you are knowledgeable. You know that these or this thing does nullify your fasting. And you should do it when you are willing. And this means if somebody forces you to do it, then it does not nullify your fasting unless you are willing to do it. And the last and 3rd thing, that you remembering, that you are remembering that this is not allowed for you. This means if you eat, if you drink, forgetting that you are fasting, then your fasting is accepted and it's correct. You have nothing to worry about. Where did the scholars bring this from? They brought it from a hadith where our Prophet ﷺ said that Allah Azza wa Jal has given him a special gift. He said that Allah has pardoned my ummah, has pardoned my nation, my followers, for me, for the sake of the Prophet ﷺ, for whatever things that they have done by mistake, or by forgetfulness, or by being forced to do it. And if you are forced to do something, then Allah does not ask you about that thing. And forcing things is something that you should be careful of. For example, if somebody forces you at gunpoint to divorce your wife, go ahead and divorce her. But it depends on what you feel inside. Definitely you don't want to do that, but he's forcing you. So you divorce her. And after he leaves, as if nothing has happened. The divorce is void. It's not accepted because it was done unintentionally. You were forced to do it. And this happens if your father-in-law comes in and his brothers and the family of the missus, they all come in and pressure you to do that. You may do that because of this pressure, because you're being forced, but it is not accounted for. Likewise, if someone forces you to give money or to make a gift, again, this is not permissible on his side. And you are not accounted for that if you were pressured and forced to do that. But if you're pressured and forced to do a sin, then you must not do that. As an example, if somebody at gunpoint tells you, you should kill this person, and you would say to myself, well, if I don't kill him, he's going to kill me. And I'm in need, I'm in jeopardy, man, I have to kill this guy, so I kill him. It tells you kill this, the other one. And you kill him, and you kill like 100 and 200. Well, from the very beginning, man, die and don't kill anyone. Die and don't harm anyone. If somebody forces you to harm someone else, then you must not do that. Because if you do, you're sinful and you'll be accounted for that. But if something does not harm people, like divorcing your wife, this is not accounted for, and it's not going to be counted. It is neglected as if it did not happen. Likewise, if someone forces you to eat, someone pressures you and it threatens you that if you don't eat, if you don't break your fast, I'm going to do this and that. If someone is standing on a bridge, for example, and is threatening to throw himself and kill himself, and if you don't break your fast, he's going to do that. So break your fast. Once you break your fast and he's on the safe side, on the pavement or whatever, and you capture this guy and you put him in a car and there's no threat that of him committing suicide, then you continue your fasting. And the thing that you ate has nothing to do with that. That is different from if you eat intentionally, but because you have to do something. Yeah. For example, if you're at the beach side and there's someone drowning, and there's no one that could save him except you, but you're fasting, and you know if you go, you will faint midway before you reach him, and you may drown you yourself. So you have to have something to eat, a candy bar, or you have to have something to drink so that it strengthens you and gives you power to go and save that man. Likewise, if you work in a fire department and there's this big, huge fire, and you have to go and put it off, but you're fasting. And man, if you are exposed to that heat, exposed to the gas and the smoke there, that this is going to be harmful for you. You will not be able to do your job as you're supposed to do, and this may be hazardous to others and to yourself. Then you have to eat and you have to drink. But you're not forced to do that. You're doing it intentionally. That's why that is why you have to make up for that day. Although there's no sin involved, you're not sinful. On the contrary, you'll be rewarded by Allah Azza wa Jal for doing this good deed. But you have to make up for that day. So these are the three things that must be present when you do some of the nullifications of fasting to be accounted for. If you are willing, if you are remembering, and if you know the ruling and the verdict that this thing nullifies your fasting, if you do it, then this voids your fasting and you have to make up for that day. I think that this is enough for today's session. Do we have any questions here?